back. Now, earlier this week, power changed hands in some government agencies. President Bola Tinubu approved the appointment of new Directors General of the National Intelligence Agency and Department of State Services. In the NIA, Mohammed succeeds Ahmed Abubakar, who resigned his position as Director General on Saturday night. Abubakar was first appointed DG of the NIA in 2018 by former President Muhammadu Buhari, who extended his stay in office in December 2021. Meanwhile, Mr. Adeola Ajayi succeeds Yusuf Bichi as the new Director General of the DSS. Bichi was also appointed DG of the DSS in September 2018 by former President Buhari. Now, still with me are Dennis Machri, and of course, he's a retired Assistant Director DSS. And of course, I have Lufemi Lawson in the house with me. Mr. Dennis, let me take you up on this very quickly. Now, the appointments of the new Director Generals of the National Intelligence Agency, what's your position on this new development?
It's a breath of fresh air, where both directors, generals of NIA and DSS were appointed by the previous administration, and usually in government, those sensitive positions are appointed by the sitting president. You don't take over. Even their tenures are adjusted to meet, the new government. So if their tenure run over, it will not be more than 2-3 months. Then they have to appoint their own. So of course, you can see what's happening, and people we've been, as a country, we've been struggling with all kinds of threats, security threats.
All right.
Apparently, they are not insurmountable, but they've been there with us for years. So injecting this new blood into the system, I think, is going to make things look better. New strategies, and then, of course, a new way of doing things.
All right. You just established something now. You said, having appointed these people, that obviously there should be improvement. Now, should we expect a swift impact with this appointment? Because it was almost looking worrisome that those who were in charge of intelligence as at the other time seems to always miss it and can't avoid major damage, especially with those threatening our collective unity. So do we expect a swift impact with these new appointments?
One thing you have to understand that this is not magic. It is not magic at all. We have to give them some time to adjust. Intelligence gathering and dissemination is not like printing newspaper. It is something that you have to really know your sources. Just like journalists, you have to have new sources or use old sources. Try to see how you can make them amenable to your own policies. And then, of course, reorganization. The whole security organizations are going to be readjusted. The DSS, NIA, there will be some retirements going on. Right. And then, of course, there will also be some reorganizations, okay, new appointments, so it will take some time. Maybe give it a year or so, okay, and then things can start moving.
All right, hopefully. Now, Lufemi Lawson, very quickly, he just highlighted now that, it's not a day's job. It will take a while because intelligence gathering is not something you do overnight. Now, the former Director Generals of the agency who were laid off certainly have a certain level of intelligence and information at their disposal. Are you worried?
Well, for me, I think there's a bit of difference,
okay, in
this new appointment, and I think that is why I personally commended the decision of the president to make these two appointments. If you look at the new DG of NIA and the DG of DSS, they rose through the ranks to become the Director General of these agencies today. Because in the past, we have actually had people who are either brought back from retirement, and sometimes recalled from retirement, to come and head these agencies. We have had that over the last couple of years, from the days of Obasanjo, even the immediate past DG of the DSS was recalled from retirement to come and head the agency. So I think there's an advantage at hand. It is that the president has chosen people within the ranks of these agencies, people who have risen through the ranks of these agencies to come and head then the war on insurgency, insecurity, and whatever you want to call it, is majorly a war of intelligence these days.
Okay,
it's not going to be about the number of tanks and arms and ammunition any longer.
Okay.
So having people who have spent so much of their time within the service coming to head these agencies, I think, is going to be a plus
Okay.
to the war on insecurity.
I'm tempted to ask this question. I would ask Dennis as well. Now, was this an issue of trust? Because some have suggested that the president needed to be sure about those in custody of the nation's intelligence.
It's beyond trust. It also has to do with competence, experience, and if you look at the history of both DG of NIA and DG, you know that they have risen through the ranks, they have served meritoriously, and they possess, from my knowledge, the requisite, competence to spearhead these agencies. And I think it's a plus for us, not only trust, but also in the area of competence.
Okay.
You may actually trust somebody
Okay.
who may not be competent enough to do the job.
All right.
So I think they possess both.
Okay. All right, Dennis, I want to take you on this quickly before I go on this quick break. Now, was this an issue of trust? Because some actually suggested that the president needed to actually trust those in custody of intelligence of the country.
It's not an issue of trust.
Okay.
If you have to be the head of any of these agencies, your loyalty is to the country, and it's not a matter of trust at all. So that should not be the issue.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we go on a quick break now, and when we return, Newsweek, of course, continues in a moment. Please do stay with us.